Hello everyone, before we get started, please like, share, subscribe. Let's grow our channel and let's get into this topic. Thank you. Hello everyone, so this is a very sensitive topic and we're talking about William McNeil. Now he's the young man that was slapped or punched in the face by a police officer, and it's garnered a lot of attention. Why? Because it's a white officer and a black man, which in America, it's always seen as black men are always treated differently when it comes to police officers. Is that the case? Yes, but not every incident is a race thing. And I'm not African American, so maybe my point of view is different, but we're going to watch a couple of videos and then we'll come back and speak on it. So this first video is 4 minutes 19 seconds, and this is from the body cam of the police officer. Let's take a look.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely there's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
37, 35. I'm proper dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle. 25 seconds. For 9-4, the driver just slammed the door and locked it.
Call your supervisor.
Yep. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. Yep, my camera's on too. I already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. Okay. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window.
Can you unlock the door and step out?
Can you talk to me though?
I will. Can you step out?
Because you don't even know the whole situation.
You're being done. There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
And I'm required to actually out.
So,
Can I talk?
Vehicle's locked. Yes.
Locked up.
Correct.
He gave no lawful reason.
Huh?
He gave no lawful reason why he pulled me over.
Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess talked to you?
When he pulled me over, he
Yeah.
opened my door because my window don't work.
Oh yeah.
And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like,
Okay.
there's multiple people headlights.
Okay, that's still a legitimate reason to pull somebody over.
There's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on. Huh? Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Hey, I'm about to break the window.
Huh?
I'm about to break the window.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
33 at 16:21 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. Don't fuck it.
Put your hands behind your back!
I'm resisting.
Hands behind your back! What's wrong with you?
25 seconds.
What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was on.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
What's going, bro? What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's
No,
what's going on.
bro.
Yes, bro.
I
Yes.
have a lawful reason, bro. You gonna throw my phone like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
too late. When they asked me to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit. So your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is. So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, but I didn't.
Stop resisting, idiot.
Bug my bro.
25, so you can start rescue. 1067, approximately 30-year-old Bravo Mike. Last race up.
So you see the very first initial communication between both the police officer and William. And, you know, William was calm, respectful when, you know, the police officer approached him. Both were speaking respectfully. And for some reason, William would not comply. The officer said that you were being pulled over because of a light and your seatbelt. And William is like, well, it's not raining, so I didn't have to have the light on for fine, whatever. He said that. But then to see the officer asked him again that he's being arrested, and now William's, or not being arrested, but he's told to get out the car because of a violation. Then William slams the car door closed. He already told the officer, my windows can't go down. Fine. Everything there is fine. That first video, you can see they were communicating. Even after William locked the door, the officer was still calmly asking him to come out. William did not comply. William asked for a supervisor. You saw the supervisor, or you heard the supervisor asking William what happened, what's going on. And still with a supervisor, he did not want to come out of the car. And that's when it transpired to what you see. Now, I said I'm not African American, but I would think you have this police officer telling you, you're saying, well, it's not a reason for me to come out my car because I didn't violate any, whatever reason. But to see that they granted you the supervisor who spoke to you and still you did not want to step out of that vehicle. So they had to go a forceful route. Now, the slap or punch in the face, was that correct? Of course not. I totally agree with everyone that the cop should not have done that to his face. But, and I hate using the word but because you know something is coming, but you clearly see that he requested a supervisor, which he did get, and still that did not have him get out of the car. Because to me, the way they were communicating with him before what transpired, I see him coming out of the car, standing there and speaking. So to see social media go back and forth, and it's a racist cop, it's white, and you know, even the black officers that were there, some are calling these black officers coon because they were siding or they were agreeing with their white counterpart. And I don't see where race should be a factor in this. Again, he was asked politely, get out the car. He said, what am I doing that I need to come out? Well, I don't agree with what you're saying with the light and rain. Get your supervisor, which they did. And still, that was not enough for him to say, look, I'm just going to come out the car because I don't want it to go there. It did go there. He was punched in the face. And that's all people are paying attention to. Nothing prior to that, which to me is mind-blowing. With that being said, we're going to go to his video in the car. The cops told him we're going to break the window. Still, he had a chance to open the door, not for it to escalate. Let's take a look.
Walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right?
Okay.
And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like,
Okay.
there's multiple people headlights off,
Okay,
first of
that's
all.
still a
And then
legitimate
there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law
Yeah,
up?
when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
Show me your hands.
Here.
1063 at 1621 hours.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No, don't.
Stop fighting! Put your hands on your back.
Okay, so the first thing I have to say, maybe I need a correction that he was not speaking to the supervisor, because as you heard right there, he was still asking for the supervisor. Now, that's not the cop he initially was talking to. This sounds like another cop, but with the previous video and listening here, you can see the cop was still calmly speaking to him, telling him he needed to come out. Now, people play this part all the time. Well, that person is doing the same thing and you're not pulling them over. Now, people are going to say, well, it's a black man, that's why he did it. We don't know. As I said, in America, that's how it works in America. When it's black and white, it's always racism, especially from the African American side. I'm sorry, people are going to get mad and upset, but that's what I'm seeing. Right? So even during that conversation, when even the officer said, come out and I'll show you, he keeps talking about the law, this, the law, that, I need to see this, I need to see that. You don't know the law. They know the law. And all you had to do was come out of your car and not let it escalate to the where it is. Like I said, get out your car, you have your video, they have their video, then you can go file papers. But then it was also brought to the attention that he was driving under a suspended license. So maybe that's one of the reasons why he was resisting. Maybe. Now let's take a look at an interview that he did. So let's take a look at this interview.
William, let's start with you. Walk us through what happened and what led you to turn your camera on and start filming on your phone.
Well, the officer put his hand on his gun and out for me if I closed my door and start recording. I did what was best. Yeah, so
They said your headlights were not on and should have been on in what they described as inclement weather, correct?
Yeah, correct.
But there are those people who would say, hey, why not just cooperate when they're pulling you over? Why lock yourself inside the car and refuse to get out initially?
That's where I felt safe at. I wasn't going to get out the car because my head was during the daytime. And then you put your hand on your gun and reach out for me. I fear for my life. And I know how officers of JSO are towards black men here in Jacksonville.
What went through your mind at that moment when the deputy broke your window and punches you in the face as you sit in the car?
I was surprised. I was scared, frightened. I grew up being told that officers protect us, but that wasn't the case.
So that was a part of an interview that he did. So you hear him. He was scared. He said he saw the officer put his hand on his GUN, and that scared him so much that he closed the door. And, you know, as a female, black female, not African American, I guess I never experienced racism or know what it's like. And I'm sure not all African Americans have experienced racism. You know what? We're gonna stay on this topic. I'm sure African Americans, they had good experiences with white cops pulling them over and situations like that. But because it's like taboo in the sense that if you're a black man and you're pulled over by a white officer, you will never walk free or something will always escalate, which is shown a lot on social media. So that fear is embedded in people, in African Americans, especially male, that this is how you will be treated. And not only that, but if you notice, it depends on where you live, what demographic you're from. If you're, say, from the hood, from the ghetto, most likely not. If you're from the rich neighborhood or you're a black person, African American with money, you might, get away with it. So it's all about what class, and it just depends. The situation depends. Not all African American are accosted by white officers. And it's like, if you say that, then African Americans in America, they're going to call you a coon. You only want to stand with the white man. How dare you say you've never experienced bad policing? How dare you? And like the majority of the time when you see videos of these incidents happen, these African American men are not, quote unquote, typical, look like they have money, or, they just look like people from a lower stature then, if you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to find words not to offend people, but if I'm going to speak and you want my truth, that's how I'm going to speak. And it's sad that, as a black person who's not African American, if I don't agree, it's like, you don't belong here, whatever. So let us listen to, I think it's the chief of police, saying what he has to say. And even him, he's coming under attack because he's a black officer, and there were black officers there who weren't, basically helping this black man. They're a sellout. Just names these officers are being called, which, is not fair. Don't do that crap. Let's listen.
The whole statements about the black issue. I wouldn't work here if we're after black men or black people, period. I can tell you he wouldn't. I can tell you any other African American or black male or female that works here wouldn't work here if our black citizens are under siege. Not the case. Not at all. I've been alive probably a little bit longer than you have. Haven't had any of these issues. You know why? Because if I was ever stopped by the police, which I was when I was a young man, and they asked me to do something, I did it. It's simple. Simple compliance. It doesn't rise. It doesn't get out of control. That stuff doesn't happen then. Do as we ask you to do. If you don't like the word compliance, just do as we ask you to do then, so that we can get finished. Then you tell us about it if you feel like your rights were violated, and we can deal with it. That's the way it should work. Every single time. Social media is not reality. One video clip devoid of context can be very misleading. Given that McNeil never brought this incident to JSO's attention, but rather pushed the cell phone camera footage that he had in his possession since March 5th out on social media, one can only assume, and I'm saying I assume, that he intended to inflame the public. The administrative process is still ongoing, and as such, I will neither defend nor commend Officer Bauer's response to resistance until all the facts are known and the investigation is completed. However, as the leader of this agency, I will not remain silent while important facts and information are buried to advance an anti-police agenda. The truth is, William McNeil Jr. was non-compliant with JSO officers within 21 seconds after he was stopped for multiple civil infractions. His non-compliance quickly rose to the level of criminal resistance to a police officer. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting a police officer without violence.
So you heard what that officer said. Just comply. And I said the same thing, comply. Even the officer said it. After you're done with the situation, go make a complaint, file a report, something. And that's the same thing that I'm saying. Comply. If you feel your rights were violated, taken, whatever, then you go and you report it. You have your video from your car. The officers have their video. Go and make a complaint. Don't let it escalate to where it went. Again, everyone is concentrating on the punch in the face. And again, it is wrong. The officer should not have done that. The officer should be on suspension, they put him on desk work, something. Of course, you don't violently punch someone in the face. And we have to keep repeating that we know that officer is wrong for doing that. But to just ignore how it started out with William McNeil, because black and white can never work out. When it comes to black men and white officers, there could never be an exchange calmly. It has to escalate to something. And I get what McNeil was saying. He said he was scared. The man put his hand on the GUN. He was scared. But with all those 4 minutes when they were calmly speaking, let me take that back. No, not that's 4 minutes was the length with the body cam from the officer. I think, 18, 20 seconds where all you had to do was comply and it wouldn't have gone this way. I just want people to be fair in their reaction. To talk down to these black officers, African American officers, to say that they're standing with the white man or whatever, don't do that. Don't do that. And it's like I have to, wow, this is a lot, because it's like I'm not hearing anyone making the argument that I'm making. Everyone just wants to be, yes, but punish the officers, the black officers, they're coon, white officers are just mean, they have no respect, without admitting that Mr. McNeil started something that did not have to escalate to where it went to. Now they hired this Ben Crump person. And again, I'm sad to say, people like Ben Crump, they just give the spirit of, we want to go after money. Like, let's run into these situations about money and not address the fact that your client that you're representing had an opportunity not to have the situation, the incident escalated, but he did, and now you're going to defend him for the punch, which is fine. Like I said, again, I feel like I have to repeat myself. What the cop did, no, don't punch. But to come out and put it off like, oh, it's a black man and that's why he was punched and this and that, not speaking the fact that he was approached calmly. He spoke with them calmly. Again, get out of the car. Do what they want to do, and if you feel your rights were violated, then you make a complaint or file a paper. But now to have this out as a racial thing, racist thing, the white cop and the black man, and I mean, come on, and no one is saying it. Of course, here comes the press conference, like you see right there, when it will be held. Let's just take a quick look at a video of Mr. Neal speaking on the hit.
Teeth was actually broke when you still sit there. Could you just... this was a violent encounter. His tooth went into his lip and he has stitches all on his lips. This is not good policing. Nobody can say this is good policing.
And it wasn't just one officer. When Williams was on the ground, it was multiple officers hitting him. Put his head into the concrete. So one officer may have been suspended or take police powers away from him, but there's more to come.
He said with more to come. So here's a copy of the report. I'm surprised nothing is redacted, meaning his telephone number, his ID number, they don't have it redacted. So yeah, this is the record. He did have a large knife in the car. He did have marijuana in the car, and he was also driving on a suspended license. Now, so besides of being terrified of the cop because you're a black man with a white officer, could it be that he knew he would be in trouble? Suspended license, marijuana, and a knife in the car? Could that have been the reason why he was so defiant, again, the cop response is not the way to go. But do not put race on this, because you know what you're doing, Ben Crump. You know what you're doing, William McNeil. Because even the officer said he didn't report it, or he didn't put it on social media until what was it, March 5th or however late. Like, he knew the kind of response it would get from social media to hype it up, to get it to now where it's, around the country. And, when is your client, Ben Crump, going to take accountability, responsibility for his part in the incident that did not have to reach that level? All he had to do was comply. The police officer said it. Comply. When it's done, you make your complaint against your experience. So, I'm done. There's nothing else I can say. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate comment back and, probably be called a coon. Because, like I said, I'm black. I'm not African American. But I'm seeing this incident. We're talking on this incident that why was racism and the white cop, black boy, and the other cops, because they didn't stand up for the black boy, now they're coons and stuff like that. So that's it. What are your thoughts? Hey, have mercy.